Thank you. Woo! Look where we are.
Come on.
Festa Della Donna. Listen, we're fancy. It's a fancy name. We're fancy here today. And I am excited with, like, you are one of the people who are like, make sure the things happen behind the scenes. So introduce yourself to the people and make it happen on this scene right here.
Yes, I love it. My name is Matt Gill, and I personally am on a mission to wake up people that have either spiritually fallen asleep or in the process of falling asleep. I know that I am clear, and my job is to wake people up and to bring my light into their darkness so that they can find their own light to share into the world.
So you do more like, listen, we've been talking about transformation. You are a gifted speaker.
Amen. Thank
because
you.
You're speaking from a transparent place, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you took us on a journey.
Yes, ma'am. You're like, I don't know if I'm back yet.
I don't believe I am. You took us on a journey. Where did that come from? Like, where did you, like, your job, it's like, it seemed like it's two different jobs to me.
Yeah, so my mission and my purpose is really to help people wake up.
Okay.
That comes in different forms.
Okay.
So the wonderful Dr. Esther Graham is a good friend of mine, and I've known her for going on probably 7 years now. And I love who she is and her message of healing and hope and really understanding the, for lack of a better word, the church hurt. The hurt that comes from the people that are supposed to love us the most. The hurt that comes from the place where God's love is supposed to be shown. But the truth is, a lot of times it's not. There's a lot of judgment. There's a lot of talking behind people's back. There's a lot of things that aren't representative of who God, the true God, is. And whatever you want to, whatever your belief is. And so when I knew that Esther, I come from a space of producing events, of helping people get their message out. I live in the media world. I produce podcasts. I help people do their content creation. I help create their branding and their marketing so that they can get their purpose out. But the number one thing that we run with is the power of their story. Because your story is the thing that you have that nobody else can compare to. Nobody else has your journey.
Sure don't.
Nobody else has your lessons.
Nope.
And it's the one thing, a lot of times we don't share the truth of our story because we're living in guilt. We're living in shame. We're living in the fear of the judgment from other people, and we're judging ourselves. We don't truly allow ourselves to own our truth, own our story. And it's the moment that you own it and the moment that you share it, that you give yourself the freedom that we all deserve. Today was just a lesson of understanding I deserve to own my truth. I lived 44 years of hiding my truth that I was gay because I was managing my parents. I grew up in a Mexican family, Christian. My father was the assistant fire chief for LA County Fire Department, so he had a lot of people that were looking at him.
That's a long time to hide something.
Yeah, the 44 years. Now, I did not think that I was hiding it. I just never spoke on it. I never wanted to be the gay speaker. I never wanted to be the gay coach. I never wanted to be, because that was a title that I felt was, like, I was already judging myself and not allowing myself to be true. And so I created my judgment, which then I would find the people that were judging me so that I had evidence of this negative belief that I believed. Because once you have an idea, whether you think that you're good or you're bad, you're gonna find the evidence to prove it.
So you're looking for the evidence. So then you're like, all right, I'm looking for my people. But when did you find your people to be able to come out and say, this is what this is it? How did you find the people, and how did you know when it was time?
It was a coach. Listen, the one thing that I say is that if you don't have a coach, you need to have a coach. Because it was a coach who actually said, Matt, how many people know that you're gay? Now, mind you, I have impacted over 40 million people worldwide. I have been, I worked for one of the largest motivational speakers in the world. She's one of the teachers of The Secret. Lisa Nichols, I was her creative director. I was teaching on stage with her. I traveled the world with her. And yet I never told the truth of my story. Even in those moments that I was impacting other people, I was always holding back. I never gave my whole self to any of the audiences that I was in. Wasn't until 2019 when I left. I was working for Lisa, and I realized it was time for Matt's voice to be more out there. And I hired a coach, and the first thing she did is, how many people know that you're gay? And I was like, So she's like, you need to tell your story, and you need to come out publicly. And it was one of the hardest decisions because I knew that there were going to be people that were going to judge me. I have a large social media following, and I knew that what I was going to do was going to create waves in the world, both good and bad waves. I knew that there were going to be people that no longer wanted to associate with me. But the truth is, I needed to tell my story so that I could be free.
Right, so no hiding.
Yeah, and the journey that I took you guys on was one, just opening up my heart. Listen, my heart will walk into a room before I do. And it's the truth, because I'm whole now. Because I own all of me, the good, the bad, and especially the ugly, because the ugly is where the healing is. The ugly is where the learnings happen. The ugly is where the growth took place. And it's a piece that we don't want to share, but it's a piece that we need to be sharing.
And you do it so well. I get it now. So when you tell your story, you're very vocal about it. You're speaking in a way that will actually heal other people. So when did you decide, hey, I'm going to turn this into a company? Is it your company?
So it's not my company. I actually hired my coach, and then my coach, as we started working, she's like, I need you to help me continue what we're doing. So my coach turned into my business partner, and so we're working together. We have a company called The Story Agency. We got an amazing team of people that are dedicated to helping others learn the truth of their story, own the truth of their story, and then get it out into the world.
Got it. So we're in this, he did this exercise, and you had to look into the person's eyes, and then you had to tell them, if you knew me, you would know that. And then you're telling something very personal, right?
Yes.
And the thing is, you don't know what you're going to say in the beginning. Like, you don't know, like, I'm like, I got to think about it. All right. If you know me, you would know that. And then as we're talking, as we're going back and forth on that, man, the most painful things came out.
Yes.
And it was like, I wasn't thinking about this. I wasn't even on that. I wasn't, where did this come from?
Yeah.
But it was like, it was just something in it. I'm not even sure how it happened, but it happened, and you did it.
And
you did it.
You're like, it's your fault.
But it was necessary. But
yes, ma'am.
It was like, I didn't even know this exercise existed.
Yeah.
Like,
here's the thing. So Festa della Donna is a beautiful place to come and to feel safe. Festa della Donna is very different than I think some of the other type of conferences or seminars or all the other stuff that we go to for healing. Festa della Donna is the safe place to connect and to be seen and to feel the feeling of being seen, which is why the eye contact and why the partnering and the telling your truth. So many people want to share pieces of them, and it gets stuck right here. And they hold on to that, and that begins to hold pressure on the heart and on the body. And then it shows up in our body physically with illnesses, things that our body gets weak because our heart and our spirit are weak. When we begin to own our truth, we get stronger. We know and we understand that we deserve more. And so not only does our body change internally, but the body changes on the outside. And so this is the place, like if you watch, with the one young lady who shared about her journey and being raped and the violation that took place in her life. For the first time in the room, she shared publicly to a room full of people. But you can see the physical transformation of before, when she was holding on to her story.
Yeah, she was tough.
Yes.
Right? She was, and then when she let it go, you saw the walls, that everything fall down. Because I remember when she first watched it, it was harder. And it was like, that's just the most freeing thing I've ever seen.
Yes. And that comes from just owning the truth. And these rooms and what Dr. Esther Graham and what all the other speakers create a space for healing, create the space for transformation. This event is about giving permission to be your truth. Dr. Esther brought it home today when she said, this is me. This is me.
This is me.
And that's something that I think, I know that the more people are willing to own their truth, are willing to share their truth unapologetically, is the moment that they give themselves freedom.
Absolutely. So you mentioned that you work for Lisa Nichols, right? You worked there. So when she would do the online things, like the online events, you were one of the people in the square that would come on afterwards or something like that?
No, I was sitting right here. So Lisa and I were right next to each other.
But I'm saying it was in the school, like I'm talking about the virtual.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
In the virtual thing, you were right there with her. I'm just trying to figure out if I saw you, which because I was following her all this time too.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm sure I was looking at you.
You probably
now I'm
were.
sitting like, yo, I was looking at you.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I was like,
yes, ma'am.
that was you.
Yes, I've been with Lisa, or was with Lisa, from 2007 to 2019. And Power Jam, Speak and Write, all of the events, the virtual events. So we would do a hybrid event, which is live and virtual. I would be the host of the virtual event. I shared with my IFC, which is my imaginary film crew. And that was my manifestation of this dream that I had of having my own TV show or my own like camera crew. And it occurred. And Lisa played a very big part of my healing back in the day. When I knew that I had gone into a very dark place in my life. I was using crystal meth for 6.5 years. I needed to go through and to find my spirit and find my soul again, because I truly believe that crystal is what stole my soul. I was so far away from my truth, from my being. I pushed away the people that loved me the most because I was ashamed of who I was being, because I knew that wasn't how I was raised, that wasn't how I believed. But I was in so much turmoil, internal turmoil, and I was trying to numb myself. And I numbed myself with drugs. I numbed myself with drinking. I was looking for love in all the wrong beds and sleeping around with people, like trying to just find love because I wasn't happy with me. And it was at the mark at about 6.5 years that all of a sudden I was like, I can't do this anymore. I fell to the ground. I said, God, I don't know if you're there. I don't even know if you love me or what. I said, but if you're there, please, I need help. And at that time, that's when I was introduced to Lisa. I saw her on television. It was a year later. I was invited to this random TV show taping for a pilot of her show. I was like, oh my God, Lisa Nichols. Like, I knew who she was. I was like, I need to meet her. Because when I saw her on television at that time, I said, someday I'm going to work with that lady. And in my mind, I meant her as my coach. I never had pictured the journey that we were going to go on. And so here I am at the taping of the show. I go to meet her. The security guard stops me. He's like, I'm sorry, this is for VIP only. He did that real kind, like, kind of pushing me out the door. And I was like, yo, I told my friend, listen, I need you, like, ask him where the bathroom is, distract him. So the security guard got distracted. I ran around the corner. I climbed the scaffolding of the seating area. I jumped over and I went in front of Lisa and I was like, Lisa, my name is Matt. I know that you don't know me. I saw the video of you and motivating the teen spirit, and I need to be a part of it. She didn't say anything to me, and I was like, she just kind of looked at me and she began to get tears in her eyes. And I was like, crap, did I say something wrong? Like, what did I do? And she said, I've been praying that God would send me men to work with the teens, because a man can speak differently to a young man than if a woman speaks to a young man. And she said, I've been praying for generals, and here you are. And that was the beginning of our partnership, of me learning, of me healing, and the 14 years that I was with her until I was ready to get myself and to own Matt Gill and make a bigger impact in the world.
Wow, Matt, he's amazing. I'm just saying, he's amazing.
Amen.
I didn't expect to meet such an amazing human being, but thank you so much for your story. I'm just in this trying to get in the circles now. Like I had the opportunity to meet Lisa Nichols this year, Dr. Cheryl Wood. I got a chance to meet them this year. Finally got to see Dr. Tracy Timberlake. Like listen.
You are here.
I'm
welcome
here.
home. Welcome home.
Thank you.
Welcome
It's
home.
Matt. It's Matt, everybody. Tell them how they can contact you, getting your ecosystem? Do you coach?
I do.
You're
I
a coach,
do.
right?
Yes. And right now I'm in the stage. I do coach. I also go through and help people understand what is my story. I believe, and we at the Story Agent believe, everything starts with story. Whether you are an entrepreneur, you are a Fortune 500 company, you are somebody who just needs to heal, everything starts with story. And so in this time of where I'm at, I'm coaching people to understand what's my story and how do I use my story. And so you can follow me on social media and Instagram. I'm at Mateo Gil, Gil, Mateo Gil. Facebook is Matt Gill. You can also learn more about the Story Agency at thestoryagency.co. And that's where we do a lot of our great work. I now live in Phoenix, so which is a big, huge change because I came from San Diego. Beach weather, cool, hanging out, to like hot.
It's hot.
Yeah, so if you're ever in the Phoenix area, please stop by. We have a new place called the House of Story. And in the House of Story, it's a community play. We have a pop-up vintage store, thrift store. And then in the evening, we actually have classes on either how to tell your story, or like it's a place for the community to come tell their story. We have open mic nights, we have dance classes, we have all kinds of stuff, which is fun.
That sounds like fun.
Yes.
And listen, maybe I'm going to take a trip.
Yeah, come on down. Listen,
Hey.
I say I'm the unofficial mayor of Phoenix now, so I'll take care of you.
Oh, got you. I'm so excited. And it's funny, he's talking about telling the story. I have to tell this story, right? Last night, I competed in the speaker competition. I am one of the ones who won, and I'm going on to round 2 for telling my story. Telling my story.
All right.
Yes.
I love it.
So it's so timely. It's just timely. So thank you, God. Thank you for being here. Thank you for Festa Deladon. I tell you, it's fancy, y'all. It's fancy.
We just call it FDD for short.
There you go. All right, y'all. You're going to hear more. You're going to see more, because I'm going to stay all up in this community right here.
Because she in the house.
I'm in the house. All right, y'all.
Bye, guys.